thought today we could talk about press molds. One of my favorite things to make press molds of is shells, seashells, because shells have really cool textures and that comes out super well in a press mold. First of all, what makes a really good shell to make a mold of? Anything with a really cool texture. Like, listen to that texture. That is real right there. These are just some of the molds that I have made, and I thought I would show you what makes a good shell to mold and what to make a mold of if you don't have a shell. This pansy shell and the starfish are sculpted by me out of clay, and then I use that to make a mold. So even this little coconut tree and that bottle of beer, these were what we call masters. And a master is like the original. So like a seashell would be the master. It's like the original shape, and then the piece of clay that you put on top to make the mold, that's your mold, right? But that piece there is always going to be the master, and it's always going to be a little bit bigger than your mold because clay shrinks as it goes. So if you can wrap your head around it, you're putting something into the oven and it's shrinking, and then you're making the same shape out of it and it's coming out a different size because it's all shrinking as you're going along. So this starfish here was the master that I used to create this mold, but the piece that comes out of the mold is not going to be the same size as the master. It's going to be smaller, and that's because the mold shrank, and then the piece that you're going to put into the mold, that also shrinks, so it comes out a lot smaller. So there's already two different ways that you can make molds. You can use really cool textured seashells, or you can make your own master from scratch using clay. Now here are some of the finished pieces. I intend to use these as like a mosaic-y sort of thing, but I'll get into that, I think, in a whole other video. There's also a bunch of cool stuff that you can do with these. I think I'll also make a video about that. But just back to the masters and the shells and stuff. You see I make really tiny ones as well. There is some things to consider, like that coconut tree that we talked about earlier. The detail did not come out at all, so you got to keep in mind when you're making press molds, detail is going to be lost, and so you kind of want to overdo the detail. And like this little starfish here as well, it's super cute, love it, big fan. Weird shape, not easy to get clay in there, not easy to get it all out in one piece. Your clay also needs to be like quite moist. Yeah, make it workable. So there are a few things to consider when you are making your mold. And of course there is another option if you don't have the ability to sculpt your own master or find one lying on the beach. You could also use someone else's artistic skills. Like I found this wooden starfish and I thought I would try and make a mold out of that. It's a bit pointy and a bit strange, but let's see how it comes out. And there you go. That is how to make a press mold. Super easy, super fun. Great if you want to do mosaic tiles or like a motif or something.